Good morning, art buddies, and welcome to Bricolage with Pink Girly. Just sitting here fussing a little bit. Come on in, get comfy. And I see we've just got a couple of us here. Get some of my stuff out of my way here. A little rearranging. All right, I've got two drinks here, a water and a smoothie. So I didn't set my alarm this morning. I usually am up pretty early. Well, sometimes I'm up super early and then go back to sleep. But then even still, I wake up, it's not too terribly late. So I really didn't think to set an alarm. And I overslept. So I have no thumbnail today. I'll work on that later. And I had my idea all, kind of figured out in my head. But of course, I didn't have any of the prep work done. So I used the time that I normally, hey, Jean, or Jeannie, I should say. I think it's Jeannie. I always ask you this and I don't remember. Terrible, terrible memory. All right, I'm going to put my phone on silent and set it there. And my husband lent me his little tiny fan here. Let's see if I can get it. Oh no! Oh, there it goes. Because my desk tends to get a little. I think I'm the last stop on the air conditioning route here. So let me just fuss. Did she tell me again? There's Dar. Good morning, Dar. Oh, girls, it's so nice to see you. Okay, so I think during one of my lives, I mentioned I purchased some things from Debbie Ham. And Debbie Ham has a couple different names, I think, and I don't remember them all. I don't want to misspeak, but something Dutch something or other. And then three hens, or I don't know. And I don't even know where to go to look it up. But I mean, if Pearl comes in, she would know. But I know her by Debbie Ham. Thank you, Jeannie. You're very sweet. You slept in too, just having coffee and a bagel. Oh, nice. I have a doctor's appointment, just a checkup. Oh, good. Thanks for letting us know that. That's nice to know that you're not in any kind of stress. Just a regular. Good girl. So I'm just making room here, fussing around. And I showed these panels. They were all folded up and they look like a waterfall. These panels of batik fabric. And I had something in mind that I wanted to do with them. I don't know if it'll work, but I just figured I'd try to flesh it out today and see if it's going to work. Now, if you have a better idea, certainly shout it out to me in caps, all caps, please. So it's easier for me to see. And look, I found some straight pins. I was needing straight pins, so I pulled those out and put some in my cushion. I've got a little bit in reserve. So there's a gal, I've talked about her quite a bit in the last year, Amity Bloom. Her real name is Nazareth. She goes by Naz. She has a channel on YouTube and she's got an Instagram account. And I like her work. And I put her YouTube channel in my description box below. So you might want to check her out. So this is kind of similar to some of what she does, but not really, kind of taking a leap of, not faith, but a leap of creativity of my own, I'll say. But oftentimes, Naz will use a quilted fabric to start building a journal cover. And then she uses an iron-on interfacing to give it just a little more stability. Now, she buys her quilted muslin I believe she gets it from Hobby Lobby. Now, I did purchase some of that, and I have some, and it's very nice. It was on sale when I purchased it for $10 a yard, so I think it's a little more pricey than that. But this is I don't have the whole, well, you know what? Here's a bigger piece, I think of it. Yeah, but you can see it better. It's not. This was bedding, like a twin bedspread that's, quilted the same way. Now, of course, it's got this, seashore design on it, but see, you cover that up. So I bought a whole bedspread for $7. Go me, right? So then I just cut what I want and then go from there. And I can make tons of covers with it. So this morning I quickly cut out a piece. Now I don't want this journal to be super huge. And then I decided to put on the interfacing. This is iron on. Now I do have some stitch on interfacing. It's a little stiffer. I probably might have liked to have used that, but it just didn't have time to stitch it on. And I did both sides, and this is all going to be covered up. So we're not going to see this crazy seashore pattern. By the time the journal's done, we're not going to see it. So for those of you that are coming in, if you have any questions for me, put them in caps. Hello, hello, come in, get comfy. And I'm just, oh, thank you. They're not very patriotic, but I will say, I forgot to say happy July 3rd. So I left myself a little bit of an edge here to come in to make nice on the ends. Now, what Amity Bloom does, she usually marks where her front cover is going to be. So I'm going to fold it this way, right? So this is going to be my front. So I'm going to mark it inside. And then she usually allows several inches for her spine. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, palm trees, your fave? Yeah, I like them more. I like them. This is my thing. These are press-on nails. And if I keep saying, if anybody's interested, let me know. I'll hook you up with my sister. She's an expert and she's a rep for this company. And they stay on really. Hey, hi, Jen. But like if you go to a salon, you pay quite a bit to get acrylic. Now this company does have some acrylic press-ons, but these aren't. And to get any kind of design like this or a sticker, you pay extra. These are very reasonably priced. They stay on really well for me, and I can get all kinds of different crazy designs if I want. So the thing of it is that when you see them in the boxes. I don't know if I have it. Oh, here's one. Okay, so here's a box, right? So this is what the box looks like. The company's called, this is a rabbit trail. Red Aspen, nail dashes. You get everything in here you need. You get a little sander, you get an orange stick, glue, and then you get a ton of nails that, you can fit them for whatever your finger size is. And they've got all kinds of cute things. Now, see, of course, these are plain, but see, they've got all kinds of cute little designed ones. I mean, they got thousands of them, right? So a lot of times, I started to say this because a lot of times when I see them in the box, I just like, ooh, I got to have those. And then when I get them in my hand, I think, can I really pull that off? So this was one of them. I thought, once I got them home, I wasn't quite sure, but now that I've put them on, I think they're kind of fun, especially for summer. All right. So what Amity does is she'll leave 2 or 3 inches, depending on how wide she wants her spine, and she marks all this off. I don't know if I need to do that, but this is like what, 2.5 inches maybe, and I have no idea what pages I'm going to put in here. So has anybody got plans for the weekend? We're going to go to, our neighbors have a camper at a campground. So we're going to go visit them tomorrow. So that doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put back here so I know when I start my idea. That's my back. I know, right, Jen? I mean, I couldn't beat the price. This in May in my community. I live in a 55 plus community. We have a community yard sale. Hey, Andrea, good morning. It is morning. Okay. And I love going. I can't walk far. I have lower back issues. So I'm usually popping in and out of my car, just kind of like stalk around the neighborhood, see if I see a table or anything that looks interesting. And yeah, so this whole bedspread, I think it was a twin. It's not like a king or anything. Oh my gosh, I would have left. You'd be burying me, and I'd still have it left. So I think this was a twin, and she was asking $7, and it, you can see the padding in between. So we'll just see how it goes. So I'm thinking I want to cover this area here. It's where I'm going to put my design. This I left extra so I can bring in and make a nice edge once all is said and done, hopefully. This I kind of skipped a little bit down here. Well, it looks like I have more on the inside. But, I think I can make it work. So I started to say I purchased these squares of fabric from Debbie Ham. It was like a little package, little kit. These were all folded either in threes or in half. It looked like a waterfall. And I just really liked the color, so I was able to get it. So I went through this morning. I ironed them quickly. And I separated these lighter colors from the more intense colors because I have a couple of ideas in my head with this fabric. So what I'm thinking I want to do is with these lighter colors, I think I want to make a yo-yos to make some kind of a yo-yo quilt, if you will, or a little patch that I can put on my cover. So what is this? Okay, why are we all royalty all of a sudden? Oh, I don't know anything about royalty. I don't know what that is, ladies. See, I'm seeing you on StreamYard, so I'm not seeing. Is there something different next to your names or something? Here, let me put you on my phone. Let me get you on my phone. So the problem with me is, well, one of the problems. There's a lot of problems with me. I get ideas in my head, and then they kind of like torment me. They won't leave me alone. So I've been thinking about this idea since I got this fabric from Deb. Okay, so there's my live. Oh, really? I don't see a crown. I still don't see a crown. I don't know, girls. I don't know. The more you post, the more you get points, huh? Uh-oh, there's Jacqueline driving and lurking. Pay attention to the road, Mama says. Pay attention to the road. Okay. So I love these colors. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to tear these because I do like roughy edges. I'm going to tear these into quarters, and I'm going to use the quarters, do like a patchwork, and place them and pin them on my fabric. And then I'm just going to sew them down in spots and then add other things to the cover. So this is going to be my inside because this has the darker print, and I will end up covering this up with another fabric. All right. So it's good to mark here so I know that when I'm laying down my fabric and thinking about my pattern of my book cover, that this is my back and this is my front. So I've separated these out. So my lighter colors, I just have it in my mind that I want to do it like a yo-yo patch to put, and it might just be a couple in the corner to do some kind of little thing here. Now, there were some patterns of this Batiste that I didn't care for. So I have them here. And if somebody would kindly remind me before we're finished today, I'm going to do these as a giveaway. So there's a few more of these in here now. So if we get a few more folks, I'll show you what that looks like. So rather than wasting time and going through all of these, I'm going to just start tearing. This is going to probably be super annoying because but this stuff tears fairly easily. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I believe these are 4x4 squares. I could be wrong. Where did I put my measuring tool? See how nicely that tears? Oh, I personally don't mind that noise. So, Tutu. Oh, what a cute name. Hi, Tutu. Welcome. Holly Home Tammy Odom. She's listening while she works. Do, 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 do. That is just fine. All right, let's see. Why do they have these crazy rulers that the numbers start in the middle? For someone like me, it's very, very, you're in Hawaii. Oh, how lovely. I haven't been to Hawaii in a very long time. Oh, look, I'm lying. It's a 6x6. So there you go. So I'm going to make these into quarters. So, of course, I'm going to put that half. I don't have to deal with that. And then I'm going to snip this and tear. I wonder if I should. And what I'm planning to do is I'm just going to put these little patches here, there, and everywhere, and then just stitch them down. So the first things first, let's get our first, maybe you know what? I just feel like, oh, you just moved back to Texas, but grandkids are in Hawaii. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, well, Texas, I'm sure is lovely too. I haven't been there either. All right, Jen, do you know what time Biddy and Des are streaming tomorrow? I don't know Biddy and Des. If I get one of my mods to come in, we could put their Riri. Oh, there's my dear Riri. Hi, Riri. Thank you. How sweet. You know, I was thinking, Andrea, I should probably make you a mod. Okay, look, I'm just going to go through and snip. I'll fold in half and snip. I think sometimes you can go a little quicker if you do the one task all at once and then do the second task all at once instead of back and forth, back and forth. You know, instead of putting the scissors down, picking the scissors up. So let's see, this maybe go a little quicker. Now, these don't have to be perfect, and you certainly could use fabric you have in your stash and do the same kind of idea. I think it would be it's a cute idea regardless, no matter what you're using. And, you know, it's a good way to use up some scraps. You know, sometimes there's just a little scrap you have left, but you just can't. I'm making a cover, Tutu. I'm making a cover for a journal. Sometimes you just have a little bit of a scrap that you just love and you don't want to part with it. If I go to, okay, well, I'll be honored to guard your borders and protect you from the ward. Okay, let me pull up. We're going to have some double talk here for a minute. Let me pull up. If I don't do it right now, I will not remember, and it's easier to do it. All right, so let me get to my live. I'm just going to go in and quickly make Andrea a mod. If I can See, now there used to be three little dots, and I'm not seeing them. All right, let me get. There it is. I have to be in top. Right, pin, add as a mod, standard moderator. Okay, now I'm out. There shouldn't be any. Hey, there's Shannon. Hi, Shannon. Good morning. All right, so there she is. She's got a wrench. So, Andrea, I don't know who you were talking about. They were talking about someone being on tomorrow. Biddy and Des. I don't know who they are, but I'm assuming they're an art channel, and I think I can certainly trust Andrea's choice in channels. What are you up to? What are you up to, Shannon? Ree, how you doing? Riri's my real buddy. My real buddy, Reel buddy. She's blue. Ree finds these amazing reels and she shares them with me. Just so fun. So fun. You're coloring a mandala. Nice. Riri is good. She is so good. And her taste is top drawer, if I must say. Top drawer. All right. So for those of you that are just coming in, get comfy. Welcome to my channel. I'm Pink Girly. Lori in real life. Pink Girly in my pretend world. And I'm making or I guess designing too. I'm creating hopefully a cover for a future journal. So I've started with some quilted fabric. It's actually, oh look, this one's not too straight. It's actually a cut a piece of a quilted bedspread. So that's what I have underneath here. I don't want the journal to be huge, so I didn't really measure the size. I eyeball things. I am not good at measuring, especially once I get a crooked edge. I'm toast. I'm toast. So, oh, I do enjoy them for sure. So I see, Riri, I send reels to other people too, like my sisters, and I don't think they appreciate them like you do. So that's some of it too. I know I can send you a reel and you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, another reel. My sisters are like, well, let's just say they're a little more sensible at times than I am. Anywho, so I've got these Batiste 6x6 squares that I purchased, and I'm just taking them down to smaller squares that I want to kind of do like a patchwork. They're just beautiful. These are just beautiful. This petite fabric is the same on the front and the back, basically. And I didn't really look up the definition recently, and maybe there's some fabric people. I can send you reels. Oh, Shannon. Oh, that's good to know. All right. You're on my mental list. So rather than putting my scissors down, tearing my fabric, picking them up, snipping, tearing my fabric, I'm doing this snipping them all at once. Then I'm going to tear them. I want them into quarters because I want to be able to use the rest of this. I don't want to waste, a big chunk of fabric and then, cover it up with something else. There's Gail. Hi, Gail. Good morning. How you be? Nice to see you. Okay, so there's my stack. Now I'm going to be using these little pieces. Of course, I'm going to have leftover. And there was some in this bundle for those of you that weren't here that I put together that I'm not going to use, that I'm going to do a giveaway. There's nothing wrong with these. I just, in my mind, I didn't see them working in my plan. So, and I have some other batik fabric, brighter colors, but this I'm going to do a giveaway. So let's see. I've got a couple mods in here now. It's 10:30. How about, let's say it'll around, excuse me, in about 30 minutes, because we're not all on the same time zone. In about 30 minutes, if someone could get my attention, we'll do a giveaway. And it's going to be a little different than normal, because we are moving into a holiday weekend. So now I should have had all this prepped, I know, but some of you weren't here when I first started my live. I didn't set my alarm and I overslept. So I still have my thumbnail to do for today, but I wanted to iron these little squares. The way that they were presented in the package, they were either folded in half or in thirds. So I wanted to, get those marks out so they would lay flat for me. And unfortunately, I want to tear this pile again because I don't want to waste this beautiful fabric. Actually, what I'll do is maybe include some of these little quarter pieces in with maybe I'll do a couple giveaways and the winner can choose. I'm thinking. To let you know, those two channels are hosting a 4th of July stream tomorrow, but we aren't sure what time yet. Okay, thanks, Andrea. Like what kind of stuff do they do? Do they do different kinds of art, or are they sewers? Are they painters? Okay, 2 sub to their channel. Excellent. Yeah, if anybody here is not subbed to my channel, I'd love to have you come on board. Just throw that out there. All right, so these are my halves. These are my quarters. I've got quarters over here. So now I've got to do the same process again. So I'm going to go through and snip and tear, snip and tear. I picked this up from Debbie Ham. She had it. Whoops. There goes my plastic. My plastic desk protector just hit the floor. I've got fans going everywhere. Debbie Ham had a sale. She was destashing, and this was all in a little narrow package. You might find something similar if you Google something like, oh gosh, they have charm packs, but it's not batik fabric. I don't know if I still have the packaging in my trash can. You know what? I can just take a second and look. I did show it on a live. So the name of it is there, and I could really probably look there to see. I can't do it right this second for you. Oh, here we go. It's still in my trash. Now, I don't know if this is vintage and you can't get them anymore, but this is what it looked like. Valley Snaps, 40 pre-cut. Oh, it says 5 by 5. I thought it measured 6, but anyway, hand-painted batik squares. This one was called Sandpiper. And then on the back, it showed you all the different ones that were included. And I guess you can maybe buy pieces of this fabric from this company because they give you all the information. And it just looked so yummy. So they were all they were all folded and wrapped around, a little piece of cardboard or something and tucked in that little sleeve. I'm a sucker for this batik type fabric anyway. And I just, Debbie didn't have a lot. She just had this one. And I was able to get in. My lag is usually but I sit like a hawk, with my finger right on the send button because my lag is so terrible. Of course, those sales, it always looks like you come in first, but that's the way it's set up. But you're not. I'm usually like fourth or fifth down. But I think everybody else was snoozing. Yeah, I didn't really think. I was thinking more tropical, but I guess they do look mermaidish, especially the ombre ones. But thank you. These are my red aspen nail dashes, and you can have nails like this too. They're quite reasonable. Let me do a little advertisement. They're quite reasonable. You can take them on and off as you want. So I started following this girl on Instagram. Oh my gosh. I would show you her reel, but her language is might be a little off-putting. I find it hysterical. She's so funny. I don't even know her name. That's how new I am to her content. But at one point, she's talking about being an adult and having to do adult chores, and she's outside cleaning out her garbage cans, and she's saying things like, now I make the chore list, and then I have to do the chore list, and basically, hey, Ange, basically, being an adult stinks. Here's her basic premise. And at one point, she says, I should be in a swimming pool right now, having a popsicle playing mermaid. It just cracks me up. She just cracks me up. So I guess we all kind of do the same thing, right? Because I remember playing that with my sisters. Our dad had an above ground pool for us on our back 40. We begged and begged and begged, and he finally gave in. Our dear dad, he was a soft touch at times. Yes, adulting is definitely hard. Okay. So stick around if you can. At 11 o'clock, hopefully I'll remember. If not, someone will remind me. Well, now it's about 20 minutes maybe. I'm going to do a giveaway with some of this fabric. I don't need all of it, right? So this one's kind of gray. And my idea may not work. I may not be happy with it, but I'm going to go for it. Now, I'm not using glue today. You could use glue, I'm sure, but I've decided I wanted some stitch marks, which I have great free thread in my sewing machine, which is fine. The stitch marks aren't going to be terribly noticeable, which is also fine. I can always add stitches, if I want them to be seen more and do a more of a contrasting type color. So I'm just making my stack of little squares to use. I'm planning to overlap. We'll see how it goes. I have pins. Now I don't want to use glue because I don't want to gunk up my sewing machine needle. My sewing machine is an older gal, so I want to treat her with kindness and care. I don't want her acting up. All right, so I'm going to share these. And then I have the squares that I decided not to use. These are going to be giveaways in just a little while. Now I need to take a sip of my smoothie. So, If you weren't here, what I said earlier on is that I took a piece of quilted bedspread, right? I cut it to a size I think that I want. I left a margin. I put some interfacing to give it a little more body, not so floppy, but yet, very bendy, very bendable, but not stiff, You could probably sew on some cardboard too, and that would work. I left a little bit to bring in once I get it, the way I want. So I'm thinking I want to, I'm going to have it go this way. All right, so I'm going to have this side up because I did this backwards. All right, hold on. Wait do you see that? I used the ink that disappears, so let's disappear this. I think I want to do this side just because I'll be sure to cover it up and well. Bye bye. All right, so I'm going to grab my magic pen and I'm going to say this is going to get covered. I understand that, but we're going to make this the front, and this is going to be the back. Okay, and then this side, it's opposite. See how I get confused? If Gail was here when I did that, she would have picked up on it. Okay, so this is going to be my front. This is my back. It's just going to be patchwork. I've marked out my spine. I don't really need to at this point, but I did it anyway. So I'm just going to take, this is my idea. I'm just going to take these fabrics and just start laying them down here, there, everywhere. It's going to be folded over. Now, see, a couple of things. If you use glue, once you glue them down, you're kind of, that's the way it's going to be. If I use pins or just, lay them in place or use pins, if I pin them, I have wiggle room. I can move them around. Now, I'm also thinking of doing a little yo-yo feature on the front. You have did you get a new sewing machine? I'm going to be brand new to sewing. Oh, Jen, I want a heavy duty sewing machine. I don't need, just want. I may decide not to use some of these, and that's okay, right? I just have a variety. Oh, no. I got a late start too, Gail. No, you do what you need to do. It's just nice you popped in to say hi. I appreciate that. I'm thinking maybe I should use one of these longer pieces. Oh, she is, Jen? Oh, that's nice. Jen, I just think of you as being really young. I guess you're older than I think. You're waiting to set up a new studio. Oh, very nice. All right, so I'm thinking maybe I want, see, I kind of like this. See, I didn't think about that initially, but maybe this is what I'll do. Maybe I'll have this be my spine. Ooh. Ha ha ha, young. I don't know why. Sometimes I just get an impression about people that it's, of course, wrong. Um, but there are a few of you gals that we see around town. If you know what I mean. And I think, oh, she's a youngin'. She's a youngin'. That kind of looks like. I think this was a stack I'm kind of bypassing. It's your immature humor. I would rather say it's your fun personality. This guy's really, whoa, oh no, they all stuck to my handle of my scissors and they went a flying. So now I have them all over the floor. My little poochie wooch is going to end up stealing them. Dark, this one's really dark. And they don't have to be, all the same direction, right? I could put them, it's my book, I can do what I want. Do whatever you want that's pleasing to your eye, that that you would like. Let's just say it that way. Everybody sees things differently. Now I'm leaving this edge empty of this kind of fabric because that's going to get folded in and probably stitched down. And well, see, if you're 60, you are young to me, Jen. But I thought you were in your 30s, actually. Maybe it's because then Jen just kind of gives me a young person vibe. All right, so this I want to move up because I don't want the extra thickness here when I come to pull this in. Well, it's going to go the other way, I guess, isn't it? Hold on, let me think about this. So this I do want to cover because it's going to go, now this is my cover, it's going to fold in this way. So I want this to go over. All right, so I guess I have to judge this. I should have another piece of this, right? Where the heck did that go? I should have two of these squares. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. We had one of the students that lived with us. He always said, "It'll be all right." Nice young man. His name is Austin. Austin Arsenault. Very, very, very nice young man. He's married and is daddy of at least two little girls, maybe three now. I'm not sure. He might have three. It's funny, the kids that live with us, some of them have stayed in touch and we're, close, and others, it was just for that season. It's fine. So what do you think, girls? Is this looking okay, or do I need to make some adjustments? Let's see now. These are ones I didn't use. So let's go back and have a look. I think I can use some of these. Oh, that one's pretty. I don't know why I skipped over that one before. Let's just zhuzh this down. Now my plan is, okay, thanks, Andrea. My plan is I'm going to pin these so they stay where they are. I could take a picture, but I don't feel like fussing with that nonsense. I just want to kind of make a couple of stitch marks and get them the way I want to where they'll stay down. Jeannie, okay. Okay, Jeannie. Good girl. Jeannie's having a regular checkup today. She's keeping after her health. It's good. It's good. Okay. Yeah, that looks okay, I guess. I guess I don't really need it. I guess I could. Oh, there's Debbie. I missed you. Hi, Debbie. I saw somebody else say hi, Debbie. I'm glad you girls do that because it's easy to miss someone. And we as content creators hate to miss somebody. Okay, Jen's going to come right back. That's fine. All right, so I'm tearing this even a little smaller. I don't want so much overlap because I don't want to waste, first of all, this is Gigi. Hi. I don't want to waste the fabric for one, and I don't need the extra thickness for two. I guess you can't really see that spine so much, but that's all right. This one I can tear, I think. I could get a little more mileage out of some of this. That's going to be tucked under. Put this maybe down here. Now, the only problem with this is I'm going to need to be at my sewing machine a little bit here. But not quite yet. Now, see, these are some of my extra pieces here. I'm looking for another piece of my spine. I'm missing a piece of my spine. Okay, I'm going to tear that one and add that. Oh, I love this dark one. I know I have to have another piece of that I use for my spine. After a while, they kind of all start to look the same. Well, that's a problem. That could be a problem. Oh, I like this one too. See, just like so many of them. Well, that's going to be folded under, so I guess I don't really have to worry about it so much. And I'm going to fold this one. All right, what time is it? Oh, it's almost 11. 10 minutes. We're going to have. Oh, Jeannie's going to miss the giveaway. I should have asked her. Oh, pooey. Pooey, pooey. Oh, maybe I have to do it. I'll do it differently. All right, so that could be there. See, I've got a little bit showing there. And I'm going to half this again and put it down here. Now, originally, I was just going to build this inside the parameters I made for myself, but then I remember I'm going to fold this under to make my edges nice. I don't want the raw edge because you see the stuffing from the padded or quilted fabric. So let me just start talking about the giveaway. So I have two giveaways. Put that there. So the first giveaway is going to be not a number. It's going to be something different. And that's going to be for the large squares of batik that I didn't use in this project. All right. Now, I'm just going to say up front here, for those of you that are not in the United States, I can send you an envelope. So you'll get, oh my, phone battery's dying. I need my phone to be alive. Wait a minute, I'll plug that in. I will send you as much as I can in a flat envelope. I can do that because this is just, lightweight fabric. Let me plug my phone in. So you should have enough, a little something, something with. So now, of course, I live in the United States, so we're coming into a holiday weekend, the 4th of July. So the first part of the giveaway, now I want to pin these real quick. It's going to be 4th of July related. I'll give you more instructions when I get ready to, I just want to pin these down so that I keep them mostly where I have them because I'm fairly happy with this at this point. And then the second part of the giveaway is for the little pieces, the little squares that I cut out from what I am using. Uh-oh, we got a crying puppy. No, you can't go out right now, honey. And that will be for the little squares, and we'll do a number for that. Okay, so when I get done pinning this, we'll do the giveaway. Well, we have, not as many as we did have, but. And then I'm going to ask, let's see, I'm going to ask Shannon. Shannon, you're still here. I'm going to ask Shannon when it's time, not right now, when it's time to put in a number for Jeannie because she was here for the whole stream. I don't know who else may have been here that has cut out, but I don't want to get crazy with putting numbers in for people. I find that confusing, but Jeannie was here and I feel bad if she misses it. She may not be interested, but you know. Okay, so these aren't all totally pinned down. But enough where I can pick it up and move it, and I'm not going to lose where these are. And I'm not concerned about the underneath part because in the end, that will be covered with a different fabric. Or it could be paper. I could just dye paper. Thanks, Shannon. Now, if you don't live in the United States, you may have a little disadvantage for the first part of the giveaway. Maybe not. So because it's 4th of July tomorrow, July 4th, I decided I would do a little kind of 4th of July themed kind of giveaway. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I don't want to say anything too soon because I don't want us to jump the gun. I'm not ready to. Now, the other part is you gals are going to have to be my eyes because I think I'm on StreamYard. You all are on YouTube. So it might be hard for me to see who might be the winner chicken dinner, right? But everybody's usually pretty good at helping the host figure out who it is. I think Lori has a blue tomato. I love it. I have a blue tomato? Oh, it's purple, actually. It probably does look blue on your screen. But yes, that's why I bought it, because I'd never seen one that was purple. I don't know, purple. And I have a real little mini one around here somewhere, not purple. But I bought that one because it was so little. And I bought this one because it was purple. So fun, right? You want one? Oh gosh, if I ever see one, kid, I'll get it. I'll send it to you. I haven't ever seen. Of course, I haven't been looking either. All right, so now as I'm pinning these, it's getting a little more. I'm trying not to stick myself. Now, certainly you could glue this down. You don't need a sewing machine. You don't need to sew it. If you want to do something like this, get your scraps, get your glue, and have at it. And you can always add hand stitches Or you could use your machine if you don't mind gunking up your needle and then, tossing it when you're done. That's up to you. But I decided I didn't want to run my needle through glue. So this, I think, is pretty. Now, I'm not so much going to, because I want to stitch this while you guys are here. So that's going to take me away from my. All right. So for the giveaway, I've got this little pile of quartered scraps that I'm going to do. This is going to be part 2. All right. Part 2. And this is, well, I'm going to say part 2 and part 1, but whoever wins first can choose whether they want the full piece or they want these scraps. And these are just the ones that I didn't use. So let's have another walkthrough for those of you that are here. Batik fabric, 6x6 squares. I just decided to not use the ones that look so much like tree trunks. Hey, Mama Juju. Okay, so you'll have your choice. So in honor of 4th of July, there are a lot of 4th of July items or themes or things that are associated with the 4th of July. Words, terms, phrases, things like that if you said them, someone might ultimately think, oh, they're talking about the 4th of July, right? So I'm going to write down the term that I have in my head. This might not work. So as soon as I see someone put it in chat, I'll call the winner. So this is the first half. So I'll put in a go here. Did it go in? Maybe I didn't get it in the box. Hold on. We can see it. You can see it? Okay. So just start shooting out. Oh, you could see what I wrote down? Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, geez. Usually I'm not in frame. All right, I'll go with the second choice. Hold on. I'm way over here. Am I silly or what? All right, I'm doing it again. A different one. This is just so I'm not like saying, oh, I want so-and-so to win, and I pick what they said. Gosh, girls, thanks for being honest and telling me. Okay, you didn't see this one, right? Okay, I got it right here. Gosh, I'm such a goofball. All right, so I'm so worried about getting in and saying go. I'm thinking you can see my go. All right. There it is, my little tiny pathetic go. All right, so start putting in some terms. Flags, that's a good one. As soon as I see the winner, I'll say who it is. Ooh, there's another one. Good. Fireworks. Yes, 4th of July. Hot dogs. Usually, that's a good one. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's good. Anything that makes you think of the 4th of July. Stars. That's another good. But these are all good, ladies. I should be writing them down. I could put them. Oh, watermelon. I could put them on a journal page. All right. Well, you guys are. I can't do it with this one. When I get my cookout, okay. Stripes, sparkles, corn. When we do the second part, I'll let my puppy out and see if I can sparkles. Oh, my sisters and I love sparklers. We always wanted those. This a wire stick that you light. Rockets, red glare. Oh, we're getting a little closer to what I have down. Charcoal. I think my thing is a little more, God bless America. That would have been a good one, Andrea. Oh, I didn't do that one. Oh, say, can you see Founding Fathers? Great. These are good. I did do a patriotic spread one time, potato salad. Oh my gosh, I have been so hungry for potato salad. We should get the husband on that celebration. That's good. Okay. If this takes too terribly long, I guess we'll just have to go to number. It's just making me hungry, Anthem. That's a good. That's a good. Oh, Gail. Gail, just we're saying words or phrases that remind us of the 4th of July. And if I see someone that has what I've written on my paper, they're going to win their choice of a giveaway. So if you think of anything, my first option, I wrote it right on screen and everybody saw it. Red, white, and blue. There we go. Andrea, she is the winner. Red, white, and blue. Thanks for playing. Okay, so Andrea, what would you like to have? The little squares, or do you want the full 6x6s? And I don't know that I have your address, so I'm going to leave that on you to, get that to me. Because I, have a hard time chasing people down, getting them to respond. Oh, gotta run. Okay. 22, what number would you want? Sure, you want Jen to have it? That's fine. All right, we'll let Jen choose. Jen, which would you rather, the full 6x6 or the little scraps? I need someone to put. Okay, so 22's got to run, so I need a number for 22 and a number for. Well, Shannon's going to give me the number for. Thanks for coming in, 22. It was nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Jen will take the little scraps. Okay, Jen, I don't think I have your address either. So this is going to be for Jen. Send Jen. And that was very nice. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea. So then, Jen. And you can find me at pinkgirly@gmail.com or pinkgirly on Instagram. If you direct message me and give me your address, I'll get that off to you. All right, for the second part, I'm going to have, we're just dumping you right into the fire, Andrea. I'll have you put in a go and a number. Let's see, there's only 15 of you here. So let's do a number from 1 to 30. We'll do 1 to 30. Shannon is going to put in a number for Jeannie. And how about Jen? I'll pick on you since you won the last one. Would you put a number in? And you can win a second time. I don't care about that. It's up to you. Put in a number for 22. Of course, I don't know how to get a hold of her. So as soon as Andrea puts in a go, which I'm not sure I'll see, that will be for these larger squares. And then I'm going to go, thanks, Jen. I'm going to put my dog out for a little tinkle. Jen, you want to go out for a little tinkle? Oh. Now you can't, you just have to go tinkle and come back in. Okay? You can't, no playing around, mommy. Okay? Go potty real quick. Go on, go. I think she's eating her breakfast, and now she's finally needing to go out. Okay. Oh, I forgot to take that to my granddaughter. Dag nabbit. Dag nabbit. Our puppy has been digging, and then she stopped digging, and now she's digging again. We think the moles are back. Is that all who's playing? Okay, if you're here and you just came in, we're doing a number from 1 to 30 for these 6x6 squares. If anybody's interested. Now, if you're international, I'll put these out as flat as I can to get as many in as I can to, have a reasonable price to mail these to you. I mean, I just can't see spending like, $40 on shipping for a little couple pieces of fabric. But if I can flatten them out, as long as it's in an envelope and it'll go, I'll get in as many as I can. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's much interest. So that's all right. That's fine. There's not that many of you here. So I'm going to go get my pooch in, and then we'll, oh, there's Linda. Hi, Linda. I'll get my puppy in, and then we'll call it off. Come on. Come on, baby. Some of these drugs that look. Isn't you? Okay. Oops. Now you want to lay in this. Wait till that comes. Could be a couple more. Okay. All right. So, Jacqueline's here. She's lurking. Are you able to put in a number, Jacqueline? All right, get your number in if anybody else is interested. I'll give you a little bit of time for the last couple that might be. It's not that high, honey. I did one. I don't do that. I do the one. We only have 15 or 16 people. 1 through 30. 1 through 30. Da da da. Do 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 do. Then once we do that, I'm gonna just start stitching this. Hers says 29. So the way I do is the first closest to without going over. Okay. And then if there's more than one person with that number, it's the first person who had the number will get the prize. We'll get the prize. Oh, Brenda, hey, hi. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. I'm going to go to my interweb. All right, let me put the stop in. Boop. Hi, Brenda. All right, let me go to here, and then I got to go here, and then I'm going to go, I haven't done this in a while, random, random.org. Go. Oh, it wants to verify that I am a human. It's debatable. All right, so this, I have to switch 1 through 30. 1 through 30, and we'll say generate. Number 18. Oh my gosh, Brenda has 18. Did anybody say 18 before Brenda? That's the only, she got it right on the nosy nose. Let's see if there's someone else that's got it on the nosy nose. 19, 15, 15. It looks like Brenda A. Brenda A. Brenda A. Right? Am I right? Can anybody else verify? Gail said it's Brenda. All right, Brenda, this is coming your way, but you need to let me know your address, okay, my dear? Because I'm pretty sure I don't have you. I'm pretty sure. Not 100%. But if you send me an email, pinkgirly@gmail, you're quite welcome. So I need to put this. Let's see. Let's just put a. Yeah, my first one was Stars and Stripes, and I wrote it right here where everybody could see it. What a silly. Look, I messed up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my machine and tack some of this stuff down. Look, I put a little note on there, a note that says nothing. Yeah, oh, Jen, thank you so much. How kind and sweet of you girls today. All right, so this is Brenda A. Oh, that feels nice. I haven't done that for a while. Okay, so I'm going to just be at my machine. It's right behind me here, and I'm going to just add some stitches up and down. I think I'm going to use my zigzag. Jen says, have you guys seen how much USPS priority mail will be? No, I haven't. Okay, so this kind of feels cool already. So I'm going to just try to take just some quick stitches. So when I flip it over, I can get these pins out and kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. And then I may just try to show you my idea to put some yo-yos on the front, like in a grouping. I have very little experience with yo-yos as far as using them stitched together. So I'm thinking I want a little block of them stitched together. So Dar said she just bought $40 worth of Forever stamps before the increase. That's a good idea, Dar. I'll have to mention that to my husband. Oh, that's a good, because that you're paying the lower price, but yet they're good forever, right? Okay. All right, I'm going to just try to do this as quickly as I can. Let's see. And as long as my machine doesn't give me a problem here, I'm going to take my purple tomato. So I hate doing this while you're here, but I'm not sure how else to do this. Whoops. Well, that's something you don't ever want to hear. Whoops. No, I like it already. Didn't really do anything yet. I'm just trying to pay attention to some of the edges that I have here and just kind of tack them down, really. I mean, I could hand tack this down, but I feel like this would be quicker. I like quick. I like quick. Whoop, whoop. Tack her up, baby. I've got some really thick clumps of threads from tearing the fabric. I'm going to snip those off. In this initial pass, I'm just trying to make sure my edges of some of the squares of fabric are not folded, not folded over, so everything's laying flat and tucked in where it should be. I might have messed up right there a little bit. Uh-oh. I got my presser foot stuck under. My close up. Okay. I'm going to give up. Basically, look at the idea. Let me just do this here. I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to do it. Okay, this isn't done, but I think you'll be able to get the idea of what I'm doing. So what I'm trying to do is, oh, I hope that's not, yeah, like I want to see this area I didn't do so much, but all right, I just kind of went around the edge and I'm just using a gray. Now I could come back in with Joyce, hi, good morning. you know, I may come around and like do this square in particular. See, he's not latched down at all because I just went around the outer edge. Like, I don't want to sit here for 20 minutes while you guys are waiting on me. You know what I mean? So, but what was happening is when I was coming around, I wasn't paying attention and this might get pushed up. See, I didn't really want that folded over. So I'm trying to keep those straight. Or like my press, I think it's a presser foot, I'm not sure, would get stuck under one of these. So if you do something like this and you use your machine, you just, you know, if you're a seasoned sewer, you're going to know that, right? But if you're not, and you're like me and you're just like, you know, a for fun sewer, you know, you learn these things as you go, and then the next time you do it, you learn them again because you don't remember. So, and you might want to you know, just make your stitches go whichever, or you may want to stitch it by hand. So some of these pins I can now take out because I've got enough of it stitched down. But see, like this little guy, well, he's stitched there, but I'm going to leave that pin. This one I think I can take out. And I'll come back and redo some of these a little later. But this I have to leave in. This I'm going to leave. See, and like right here, when I was putting my fabric down, because I didn't know, because I haven't done it before, but like if I'm just going, hey, Roseanne, I may be a little more conscientious of making sure they overlap. See, because like this now I can zigzag over top of those two and I think it'll look fine. It'll look like it belongs and like it was planned. But some of them I didn't get to where I could do that. But I think overall I'm pretty pleased with it. So then what I'm going to do is I have my interfacing here, which is basically the size of what I want my book. So this has to come in. Now I'm really close on that spine there. And then I have to decide about my corners. But before I do all this, I've got to stitch it some more. All right, now I'm going to go get something that I have in my dining room. So I think this was my front because it should say back there. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to go pick up. Did I bring out my yo-yo things, my yo-yo makers? Because I'm wanting to make some yo-yos out of the more neutral colors that came in with this fabric, this little fabric set. And I want to show you my idea. See what you think. Now, I could do lace, of course, but see, this all has to be stitched down more so that when I come back around to do my finished cover, you know, that's got to be stitched down more. I think it'll be okay. But I'm wanting to use these to make, I think, small yo-yos. Just give me a second. I didn't think about this until now. Of course. I have it. Neutral. Do somewhere. All right, so we have this little unit in our house where we store our candles and tea lights and things like that. And I was in there rummaging around and I found this that I picked up somewhere. I love it. So they're just yo-yos. Now these look like these were coffee stained, and maybe that's what I need to do with my fabric. But I was thinking if I made a little square or made the little, see here, I have this little tiny one. See, now this is to get this is going to come in. I don't know if I have pins big enough to pin through this thickness. What did I do with my purple tomato? How can you lose a purple tomato? Here it is. Here it is. I need straight pins. So I found some in our sewn box in the house, not my art stuff. But they're real little. They're little guys, little thin ones. So I'm just going to do this one side so we can kind of get the idea. Hopefully. See, now I can stitch that down. It'll be thick, but I think I can do it. So that's basically going to be my front cover. So then I was thinking a little patch of yo-yos could be here somehow. Right? But with these. Now I was doing some yo-yos the other night, Tuesday evening when I was on. But I thought if I put these together, now I think it probably would be better if I coffee stained these and then did the yo-yos rather than staining them after they're yo-yos. But in order for me to do that, I have to be away from my desk. Oh, I just hate to do that when you guys are here. Well, I stitched them down a little bit, Jen. I didn't do all of them. But I stitched, some of them down where you could see. See, I still have to work on this. And then I will turn in my outside edges. And I'm wanting to make yo-yos out of the neutral colors to then kind of mimic this and put something like this on the cover. Right? Yeah. So I have the 3 different sizes. Now, we talked about this on Tuesday evening. Some of you may have been here. Some of you, of course, not. I bought, I didn't buy a kit. You can get these in a kit. These are a game changer with yo-yos. I was telling the crew on Tuesday evening that I started a Christmas thing similar to this. I just always have loved this, but never made one. And I cut all my circles by hand, went around, got the edges in, stitched them, and it just, it was maddening. They're all sitting in a jar over on my shelf somewhere. This is years ago. I couldn't mentally take it, guys. I couldn't take it. So one time I said to Angie, because Angie's the yo-yo queen, she used to sell with Keisha, and she was always selling yo-yos. And I said to her, how do you, that just drives me crazy. And she said, I have a secret. Well, she kept it a secret. And then somewhere over the next year, someone said to me, there's a thing called a yo-yo maker. And I'm like, what? So these are yo-yo makers. I know, right, Jen? Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. Life is too short to do maddening things, even if you love it. So, and then you can buy things like this. I got this I think at a thrift shop or something because it's some of the things are loose. This wasn't, I don't know, it's not marked. It looks grungy. I just absolutely love it. Hi, Peggy. So that's my plan. And I'm thinking if I make this one makes really little ones. So anyway, this is the yo-yo maker. Now you can buy a kit and that runs about 30 some bucks or more. And I think you get 3 or 4 different sizes in it. But I think when I was looking, I didn't have sizes I kind of liked. So I bought 3 separate things. So I picked out the sizes I wanted. This one's really little, but my neighbor passed away, Peggy. She passed away to late Saturday evening. Yeah, I guess I should have posted it. 96. She had had several heart attacks at that point. Actually, we were expecting her to come home, and then she had a turn for the worst Friday evening, Saturday morning, and we couldn't really get any information because we're not family. So my husband went over to the hospital, still didn't get information, and then her son contacted us later and told her she had passed Saturday evening. Thank you for asking, though. So these make pretty good sizes. Of course, I didn't bring out any of the ones that I've made, so you could see the sizes. That was silly, wasn't it? Oh, thanks, Peggy. So I'm thinking the smaller ones might work if I make a little square or make this kind of a. I mean, I did put all that one color fabric down the spine. So I'll just see, like, once I get some pages in, because once I do a spine, it's going to be fairly narrow, which is fine. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, she is a pistol. It's so funny. It's not funny. It's like I keep wanting to say to my husband when he's cooking, "So you're going to take Betty?" Oh, and then I remember. It's kind of like one automatic, Anyway, so I'm going to finish zigzagging this for sure. And I kind of like that, it's kind of subtle. Now I had put in, this is kind of somewhat Amity Bloom style. She uses fabric and she covers her journals, and she uses the quilting fabric to kind of give, some, not support, but it's just not real floppy. Like if you used a piece of cotton, or even a like this. This is now I painted on this, so it gives it a little more stiffness. Not painted. I put this on my jelly plate, but this is just canvas, but I put it on my jelly plate, and that acrylic paint, kind of stiffens it up a little, but yet it's still bendy. But I love this cover. I absolutely love this cover. So if you use just like a cotton, like what do they call it, like a calico kind of a cotton, and you don't put anything on it to treat it, say like paint, or say like your they have stiffening stuff for when you crochet and you starch something, so you can kind of, if you want it to have a little body to it, but you don't want it real flippy floppy. And sometimes flippy floppy is good too. But so the quilted fabric gives you a little more stability. Now, if you weren't here, I used an old bed spread that I picked up at a yard sale. So you can see it's got the quilty stuff in there and on the edge. But don't be too concerned about the pattern or anything. If you see one in a thrift shop or at a yard sale, because you're going to cover it up. Most likely you're going to cover it all up, right? and do your own thing to it. See, so I'm going to come through here and do more stitches to get those down. And then I was saying to the girls, like when I was scooting around trying to stitch these down real quickly, my presser foot kept getting caught under here. So, just want to make sure that before your needle comes from your machine, if you do it by machine, that this is all laying flat. And maybe having it bent over in places will look cool. But in my mind, at least for this time round, I wanted them all to be flat. Now, you could also do lace, right? We've all got bunches of stuff in our stash. So certainly, you could be putting on, I'm just thinking, putting on the Ritz. See, this is all going to get folded down. Is Devin here? Devin. I know, right, Devin? That's why I was happy I got this fabric, because I love the shades of this. So now you could clip off a little square, tack that down, sew it down, just a little square of lace. And of course, don't forget your back cover, So there's tons of things you could be doing. You could do ribbon. If you have any of your shindy carpet fabric, if you've ever taken one of those apart. Now, I just happen to have this here because I've been fussing. I fuss with so many things, girls. It's just nauseating. But look, you could do a granny square, really. Glue that on or stitch it down, Okay, who's going? Is it Andrea? Somebody's leaving. I guess Andrea. So I know, right, Peggy? This is a pain to make, really, if I'm honest. I saw it and I liked it, got the pattern, and I'm not a seasoned crocheter. I can crochet, better at knitting, I believe. You're headed out, Jen? Okay, thanks, sweetie. Don't forget, I need your address, right? Jen 1 and, oh no, Andrea switched to Jen, and then Brenda A. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy the holiday weekend. So really, you could, that might look cute on a cover. Just whatever floats your boat, right, guys? So, buttons. Welcome back, Mama Juju. We'll have all different kinds of stuff. Trims, different trims. Oh, good. Thanks, Jen. I'll get that out in the mail. Probably, well, I might do it this afternoon. We'll see. Saturday. Today's only Thursday. So yeah, it should go out before the weekend. What else did I see at my desk here? Oh, you might have some pieces of metal or buttons or, you guys know, right? Look how cute that looks. Oh, now that might be a paint on a cover. I don't know. But see, I'm planning for this to come in this way, but I don't want to do that yet until I stitch down all my patches. And then I have to find book pages that I think will fit nicely, so they're not hanging out. And I'll probably, stitch again closer to the edge. I could glue that down. And then inside, I'll have a different fabric so it'll cover the design of the bedspread. So, you can go to your fabric center, of course, and purchase quilted muslin, it's called. And of course, it's blank. It doesn't have any. I've got mine stashed away, so I can't show you. Of course, it doesn't have any design on it. But if you see, maybe have one in the closet your kids don't like anymore. It's too juvenile for them. She's awake. She's awake. Good morning. There's our cow. We just made it. It's 20 to 12. It's almost afternoony. So, this will all be covered. My signature will be in, and this will all be covered. So you're not going to see that crazy pattern, you know. So, like I said earlier, I got mine at a yard sale, you know, and then I just, oh, Brenda, I hear you on that. That's why this was easier for me because this came in a package and someone else did all the coordinating for me. This is what I purchased from Deb, and I don't know if you can still get these. This might be a vintage thing. Hoffman Fabrics from California. Becky said I had to clean one side of my craft room so an abatement can move 1 foot. Oh no, Peggy. Oh my. We watch a lot of those home repair shows, you know, you just never know, right? What's behind the walls. And a lot of them, it's asbestos removal. My dad was exposed to asbestos in his job. Yeah, scary stuff. I'm glad you're getting it taken care of, though. Yeah, it was a cool find. And then on the back, it showed you everything that was in here. 40, 40 squares, 40 pre-cut squares, to then which I ripped them. I didn't cut them. I have a hard time cutting straight, and I'm not good with that little roly thing. So I folded and snipped. This batik fabric tears very nicely. So these are my leftover bits. And then, like I said, I pulled out the cream, or the neutral colors, I would say. And I'm going to make yo-yos. Now, I'm hoping I like this. This isn't real heavy fabric, so a yo-yo should work good. Let's make a quick yo-yo and just see. I can always coffee stain the yo-yo after the fact. I think it'll be fine. You know what, this really feels cool. Jacqueline and I are always saying to each other, oh, it just has such a good hand feel. I know it's crazy, but it's just how we are. It's freaking awesome. All right, so I think I want the little ones. Well, we'll just see. And let me start with one of the lighter ones. I don't know why, but let me see. And then I need some thread. That's the other component. So I was saying to the girls the other day, you need to line up the little disc that's in the middle with the holes, because that's where your needle's going to go through. There's like a little, you'll see, a little half moon shape kind of thing there, right? So the easiest way for me to do that is there's these little lines on this disc, and then these little nubs. I line it up there. But if you can see the holes, you can do that too for sure. So you put your fabric in your little cup part of the maker, and the fabric side you want to see at the yo-yo, you place down. Now this batik, you don't really need to worry too much because it's kind of double-sided. So I think that might be good. And then it snaps in. You'll hear a little snap. And then I just come around and trim. And this is all going to be towards the center, so you don't want a terrible amount of extra fabric. At least I don't. So I just trim a little bit off. And then you need to find a needle you can thread. Goodness, this is And then you want one that, hey, there, Chassie. Chassie shows up at some doing the same thing I was doing Tuesday night. Sorry, kid. Oh, Jassy says hi. She's in the balcony. Okay. Doing the same thing here. Okay. I'm just going to cut this. So you might want a coordinating color so it's not going to show so much, which is what I want in this particular case. I mean, sometimes you may not care, but you want to make sure. A lot of us, I think, have needles sitting around that we do our signatures with, and so they may be dull. So if you're going to go through fabric, you want something that's got a little bit of a pointy stick to it. So now I need to find, I don't believe sitting right here handy. Let's see what I got over here. I mean, I could use that. I don't think that's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Maybe I'll just try this. So you're going to cut yourself a length of thread. And you could double it if you want. I'm not sure I'm going to like the needle I picked. But you don't necessarily have to, thread it. Oh, really, Brenda? Brenda says she remembers her grandma petting and lifting single layers of fabric at a fabric store and saying it has a good hand feel. Yeah, that's exactly. I would have liked your grandma. This is just regular thin, regular sewing thread. And because this is little, I don't need much to go around. I am going to double mine, but generally I just single thread it. Now, if you're using an old spool of thread that you got from a sale and it's vintage, I mean, a lot of that stuff, if you yank on it, it snaps and breaks pretty quickly. So you have to be the judge because you're going to have to pull this to gather the circle. So you want some thread that's going to be pretty, durable for that. So then all you do, if you haven't used one of these little makers, once that you snap that in, you've trimmed off your fabric, it's got these little half moons. Now, this is just how I figured out how to do it. I don't know if this is really how you do it. There may be a better way. But I want my knot on my thread. I knot my thread. I'm going to go through this first opening. I'm going to put my knot at the very bottom because I don't want to see it. So I've just come up the first side of that half circle. Now I'm just going to stick my needle down in that second hole. And I'm going to hold my fabric down because I want to catch my fabric. And when I pull it, it's in that little half circle. It's in there. So now I'm just going to come over to the next half circle, put my needle in that little hole. I don't know if I've lined this one up especially well. Here we go. But I want to make sure I catch my fabric. So I kind of like try to hold that down. It's hard to see because I'm using light thread. I didn't think about that part. And then I'm going to go to the second half of that half circle. Hold my fabric down so I can, catch it. I want to catch it so that when I go to gather, I've got all my fabric caught in there. I think I didn't line it up quite right because usually it's easier to find that little opening. I'm struggling a little bit. And usually it feels really loose going in. This feels a little tight. So I think I'm just a hair off. And then you just keep going up and down, up and down. Now, you can make them out of any fabric, I'm guessing, but a lighter weight fabric, in my experience, is better. Because then when you gather it, especially the small ones, it's hard to get them so they look, uniform and look nice. See, I'm talking, I'm not paying attention. So make sure you don't get messed up and go into the wrong hole. This is a game changer, guys. The way I was doing it, oh my Lord. And I haven't looked at mine in a long time. I'm sure they're all wonky and different sizes. Now, Gail has been making a yo-yo comforter or blanket or throw or something. Right, Gail? Did you finish yours? Are you still in progress? Tell us, tell us. I think it was, did you say, Gail, fabric your mom had or something? There's some special meaning. I would love to see what Gail's doing. She may be away from her keyboard too. She was kind of doing stuff. Oh, really, Brenda? Yeah, that's really how you should say it. A good hand feel. That's the way to say it. Now, at some point, you're going to get right back to where you were. Now, I was just stopping at the little half circle before my knot. But now I kind of am going just a little past it. Of course, no, I don't see. I think it's right here. My grandmother always said things. Actually, Murray reminds me of my grandmother in that Murray uses a lot of the same phrases that my grandmother used. Or the way she says her words. Now, my grandmother was not from Nebraska, but my grandmother used to always say Santa Claus, and Murray says Santa Claus. I just love it when she says that. There's a couple other things. They're not coming to me right now. So then I just pushed on the center and it pops out that little disc. And then you just gently pull that off of the little disc. And all your stitches are there. Looks like a little bottle cap, really. And just for me, I'm losing it. So I always make sure I snap that back in. It's easier to find the whole thing than just, the little middle. So, of course, my needle is still attached. And then all you do is start pulling on it. And then kind of push the center down. So it's like a little cup. So you want all your little gathers pointing towards the center. Now, the softer and lightweight the fabric you're using, the easier it's going to come together for you. This is a little stiff, I have to say. Oh my goodness. Do you have them, Brenda? Oh my gosh, what a treasure trove. Brenda says that her mom has about 1,000 yo-yos made while laid up with a broken ankle. She was on my couch for 8 weeks making them with the help of her 1-year-old daughter. That was about 26 years ago. Oh my goodness. Did she use a yo-yo maker? I mean, you can buy fabric already cut in circles, right? And I guess you could go around, gather the edge, and they would be somewhat uniform. But to me, this maker is a godsend. Now, see, look how teeny tiny that is. This might be now. I'm not going to knot this. Usually, they say go through to the other side and then another spot and then make a knot and then put your needle through, cut it off so it hides your thread. I'm not going to do that because I'm gonna coffee stain mine. I really think I want to coffee stain it. But let's just see. This may be too small. You know, if I put several together. And I guess I don't have to, I don't think you have to pull them as tight as I do either. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's not pull this one as tight because I want this to be flat. So, I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. Of course, now I'm getting hungry. This looks like a dumpling. This looks like I need to go to my Chinese restaurant. Restaurante. Now, of course, you can put a button or a flower or anything else you want in the center, right? So my idea is to have several, make some kind of a pattern, and then attach them to my front cover. So that's the little size. See, I double threaded that, so I don't want to cut that. Let's do one the next size. How am I on time? I have a few minutes. Let's see. Same thing. I'm going to undisc it, you know. Going to undisc it. Do, do, do. And I'm going to pop my fabric in. And I'm going to line this up as best I can. Well, that's not good, Lori. I lost my notch. I think I need to go just a little bit. There might be an easier way to line this up, and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, going to snap that in there. Brenda says she needs to ask her where they are. I'll do that later today. No yo-yo maker. Hand cuts. Oh, dear Lord. God bless her. Finished yo-yos are about the size of a nickel. Oh, how about it? Yeah, I mean, you figure ladies years ago didn't have this little gadget, but just for me and my modern brain, oh my gosh, what a lifesaver. All right, let me see. Put in. Yeah, that feels better. All right, so that's snapped in. I'm going to trim. Now this one's going to be a little larger. I'm kind of trimming just right around the plastic. Yes, Angie is definitely the yo-yo queen. Hers are just sweet, absolutely sweet. I have several of hers laying around different places. That's a little dull. I think this is, now I don't know if I can get this thread. This is a really small. My Aunt Jerry was a sewer and she used a little needles like this. And if I used a needle, I used a big needle and she used to call them a sword. She would get laughing. She'd say, Lori, what are you going to use that sword for? I'm not going to double this one in case I decide to. I'm going to take it so I can take the needle off the thread. This one's a little, of course, I've got the wrong glasses on. Hold on. I am an individual who is a little anal about some things. And so for me personally, to be able to cut a fabric and have a nice round circle, I can't do it. And I frustrated myself that way for sure. Brenda said she said it was relaxing to make them. I made about 30 yo-yos for oh yeah for Girl Scout Awards who worked on a flower bed at a nursing home. Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Oh, that's a cute idea. That's exactly what they look like. Yeah. All right. Now, same thing. I was putting my knotted thread to start on top, but I'm since putting it underneath because then I noticed I was seeing them and I didn't like to see it. So this is a really baby thread. Okay. Oh gosh, I envy you, Devin. Enjoy your mama. Have a nice day. Thanks for popping in. So I'm coming down that other side. Now, Jassy was in Tuesday evening. She's in the balcony now, and she was asking what she could use other than this yo-yo maker. I mean, you can do it by hand for sure. But for me, this makes it a lot easier. But I can't think of anything else that would work like this. I mean, I guess if you had a gear, because the inside kind of looks like a gear. You know, those little metal gears that we decorate covers with too. That might be a little fiddly and your threads might fall off. But, you know, I just happened to think of that. That might work unless somebody else might have an idea. I think Jassy was talking about is there some other gadget you might have at home instead of spending the money. Mrs. Gigi's making dinner. I'll bet you it will be delicious. So then you just travel around the circle. Now, I need a new project like I need a hole in my head. But you know, you just get these ideas. I have all these ideas. I think a lot of you are like me in this way. You get an idea in your head and you just want to work it out. Now, Peggy is suggesting that you could make one from a plastic lid and punch tie edge. And punch tie edge. I'm not understanding that, but I guess you could make one. It's a very good idea. But there again, for me and my personality, it wouldn't be perfect enough. I gotta tell you right off the bat, for me personally. But you probably could fashion something, right, Peg, that would work. See, it holds that gear cog type thing in place so that your stitches are going right around each little arm. Yes, that's why we have so many works in progress. Exactly. Now, I think I do really want to coffee stain my fabrics. So these, I'm not finishing off these yo-yos so I can open them up and dip them in my elixir, which I think I might have some in the fridge. I'm not sure. I'll check. See, now if I just punch it through, I'm not paying attention. I'm not catching that fabric. So you want to make sure if you use this or if you use whatever, your fabric comes down and you can catch it because it needs to be in there so you can, gather and make the little gathered edge, So now I think that's wrong. See, I wasn't paying attention where I went up and where I came down. See, now this is going to cause me to have, I don't think that's right because these other ones don't have it. So because I didn't double thread it, I can take it off my needle easy. And I can pull this back out. See, I can't always talk and do at the same time. See, what I do is I missed that hole. I skipped over to the next half circle. I love my nails, but this is the hard part when you want to pick something little up like that. It's a little more tougher. All right, so here we go again. Here we go again. I'm really doing this blind. I got the wrong. I've got the multi. I think I need to trim the edge of my thread. So, there it goes. Boy, it's so nice when you can see what you're doing, huh? All right, so I missed this half of this half circle. Yeah, because you want your thread to wrap under. So I worked on several of these last night. The Phillies had a double header. They got rained out the one night, so they did 2 games yesterday. And then we have a game tonight. Gosh, and then it's the weekend. So my one sister has a home in the Adirondacks. And she and her husband go for the month of July. And we're going to take a ride and go and visit. So I might see if I can stream from there. That might be fun. I'm happy you took off today, too. Did you take off today and tomorrow? Oh, that's right. You get a holiday, probably. Holiday. And then you took Monday. Just got a nice long weekend. All right. So then you're just going to push that little center. Pops right out. You can see my little stitches. And then you just gently pull this back. Pulling those little stitches off those little fins, if you will. And then 5-day weekend. Whoop, whoop. And then I'm going to gently pull. I'm going to try not to pull this one as tight. I'm going to zhuzh this one a little bit make sure my fabric raw edge is pointing down. You kind of keep my thumb in there to make that little, like that little pocket. So you see it's kind of like lopsided there. I'll scoot some of that around. There might be a better way of pulling it. Is she being mean again? Angie is unable to have a concept that there are millions of people and she can't make enough yo-yos for all of them. So some of us have to make our own. So she's not going to share, but Angie's are like perfect. They're just lovely. They really are. Shh, don't tell Lori that I have bought all the. Oh, yeah. Shh. She doesn't want anybody to know. Angie's buying up all the stock in the yo-yo makers. We're going to have a shortage. All right, so now what you want to do is, you would run your thread through and then make a little knot to cinch it off. But again, I'm not doing that because I'm going to open these back up and put coffee on them. I'm going to coffee stain mine because, well, I guess I don't really have to, but I think I want to. At least I'm going to try it and see how it looks. See, so this is all going to get pulled down here for my cover. Now, this is the middle size that I have. This one's marked 30 millimeters. So what's that? That's about 2 inches. And this little guy is just, I guess, an inch. Inchy, twinchy, and I guess this is 3 inches, the one I bought. Let's say, 4. This is a 4-incher. But then I want to make I want to stitch some together and make a little panel of some kind. I think I'll probably do this middle size. It's going to be good for me. I think this one's a little too small. Now, of course, you can layer these if you have a different project. You do a bigger one, you can make the little tiny. Angie makes them even smaller than this, which is just insane to me. I might like to leave them a little more open. So I might make a half a dozen of that size. But I'm going to see how I like it coffee stained and then decide if I'm going to use those or if I'm going to use just a straight up fabric. But I think that's it for me for today, girls. So I hope you enjoyed it. Replayers, I hope you enjoy it. I've had this idea in my head for a little bit, and then I was able to get this fabric from Debbie Ham, and I just thought, oh, that would work, and I don't have to go and fiddle with all my colors and see what works. These all blended together. So if you see something like this pop up on the internet, or if you go to a fabric store or a craft store and they've got a little kit, and these were like a 5 by 5 or 6 by 6. I cut them, I tore them in half and just used the little squares, but they're all nicely coordinated and I didn't have to think about it. And then we were saying you could also put, a crocheted piece on the front. You could do lace, add some lace, whatever. Because there's going to be more on this. It's not just going to be this because, I can't just leave it alone. You do, and you love making them? Well, that's nice. Yeah, a yo-yo cover would be great to have on the back of the chair. Bye, Dar. Have a great weekend. Have a good Fourth. Um, yeah, so I like it. I like it. So I'm going to stitch this after I eat some lunch. I'm going to get the rest of my stitches in. Now the hard part will be deciding pages, and get the right size that fit in there. I tend to make them bigger than they should be. So we had a little giveaway. Andrea won, and she gifted her fabric swatches to Jen, and then uh, Brenda won. Where did I put Brenda's? Brenda's got the bigger squares. Oh dear gosh. Here they are. This is for Brenda. So I'll check to see if I've got those girls' addresses. Jen said she sent me hers, so I'll try to get. It's too late for me today for my postman, and then tomorrow I believe is a holiday, so maybe Saturday I can get these in the mail. Oh, thank you, Brenda. It was nice to see you. Thanks all for coming in. Thanks for playing in the giveaway. It's always an encouragement for those of us who do this kind of nonsense. So, as always, it was just wonderful to see you. You've helped to lift my spirits, and I'm feeling much better than I did when I came in today. So, oh, thanks, Peggy. Yeah, we're not going till the middle of the month, but I have to start thinking about that. And then I'm having a special visitor in August, and Kellyanne's going to come and visit. So I'm real looking forward to that. We're gonna float in the pool and have fun. So that's later on, and then in November I'm going to do a retreat. So I'm living life large, as they say, living life large. So have a great weekend. If you're out and about, traveling, driving, please be careful. People get crazy on these holiday weekends and such. So, and if you're around any fireworks, just be cautious. Enjoy some maybe picnic fair food. I think I'm going to have to ask the old guy to make some potato salad. That might be fun. Anywho. She can only bring a carry-on, and I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out this time. You cannot get in her bag. She's just bringing a carry-on. So we'll have to make other arrangements that way. All right, ladies, thanks again. Thank you, replayers. Have a great holiday weekend. I will see you Sunday afternoon, 12 Eastern. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that. So bye-bye for now. Don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. And until next time, I love you. Bye-bye.